like to be in space. But before that, I'm going to show you this picture, if I can get back to it. This picture here was taken in February of 2008. It shows the crew of STS-122, my crew, and also it has the space station crew, which is composed of the first female station commander. This is Dr. Peggy Whitson in the green shirt. She's got short hair, so she kind of looks like one of the guys, but she's right there in the middle, beside Hans, right here in the green. This is very historic. The first time that a woman ever commanded a multi-billion-dollar outpost in space. And when I look at this picture, I not only see the first female commander, I see African American, Asian American, French, German, Russian. And when you think about us working together in space with people from all over the planet, it just makes you know what we can do as a civilization. You know, there's so much fighting and wars going down on the planet, but we're up there having dinner. Peggy invited us to dinner. She said, "You guys bring the vegetables, we'll have the meat." So if you look at this, you gotta have hot sauce in space. Yeah, gotta have some hot sauce. And canned food, there's a spoon floating up. But we were breaking bread in space. We were breaking bread with people that we used to fight with. Germany, Russia. We used to fight with these people, okay? And when you think about how fragile the planet is, as you look down from this vantage point of 240 miles up, there are no boundaries, there are no wars going on. It's just one beautiful blue marble spinning around as we go around it. It's 17,500 miles per hour every 90 minutes. There's a sunrise and a sunset every 45 minutes. But it was like you were in someone's home. Many of you bring people over for dinner. It's nice and warm. It's the smells of, chicken cooking, meatloaf, basmati rice, some curry beef, whatever it is. You're sitting there with your friends and your family breaking bread. And that's exactly what we're doing in space. We're breaking bread, traveling 70,500 miles per hour. And if more people had that opportunity to do that, there would be no more wars. Because we as a civilization have to ensure that through you guys, through your brilliance, through your intelligence, through your ability to work with other people, learn different languages, to break down the barriers so that there is no more fighting. And we're depending on you guys to help do that. This is my second mission, STS-129. We went up in November of 2009, as I said, and we had some spare parts we took to the space station. Now this should be running. Houston, we got a problem. All right, I think there we go. It's going to start in a second. So this is a little video clip of, it's supposed to be a video clip. Or maybe I'll just be telling you what it was like. Let's see, can you click on that? Well, maybe not. So what this video would have shown you is us using the robotic arm to install some hardware on the space station. How many video game players in here? A number of you, right? Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, Wii, all of those games, right? Well, the hand controllers that you use to play your games are very similar to, here we go. All right, do we have sound? Can we get the sound up a little bit? There we go. So this was about 3 hours before launch. We were in the shuttle waiting to take off.
Launch team wishes good luck, Godspeed. We'll see you back here just after Thanksgiving.
We're excited to take this incredible vehicle for a ride and meet up with another incredible vehicle, the International Space Station. So with that, thank you very much for all you've done. And everybody across the country that's participated, we're ready to go.
MTD, with that, you are clear to launch a lap. Copy, clear to launch.
Firing chain is armed. Sound suppression water system activated. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3.
Can you turn the lights down a little bit, please?
1, 0, and liftoff of Space Shuttle Atlantis on a mission to build, resupply, and to do research on the International Space Station.
How many people have been to a shuttle launch before? Only have only 2 left, so if you get a chance, if you're down to Florida, check it out. It's the most amazing thing. At this point, I'm looking back at the planet, where my parents and my family were over the overhead window. And it was just fantastic. 8.5 minutes later, you're in space, and we're jettisoning the external tank. So the tank is going down back, and I'm jumping out of my seat now, filming the tank falling back to the earth. So after docking, we had to get to work on the robotics. All the kids in here that play video games would be great robotics operators. We had the logistic carriers in the payload bay. We had to get them out with the shuttle arm and actually grab onto the carrier with the big arm, the station arm. So that's ELC-1. That's the first one that Bush installed on the Nader port side of the truss. And then Randy and here's Scorch and I, were actually taking out ELC-2. And that was the second logistics carrier. About 14 tons of payload that we're going to add to the space station. So here we're moving the arm. It's like a big video game, both on the shuttle and the station side.
Hey, you gotta be careful. Our philosophy was work hard, play hard.
He didn't really hit me that hard. This is the stupid astronaut transfer in space, and you don't really use your arms to transfer things, you use your legs, so you can pull yourself through the hatches. There's Comrade going by with a big piece of payload as Bob's working. I think Comrade's gonna do the Superman move. Look, Bob, no hands. Also, food's very important in space, so we had our Euro night over in Node 1. We're having samples of calf cheeks and plum wine sauce and a number of other little delicacies that we enjoyed. We're all eating with our spoons. There's Nicole, Bobby, and myself. Comrade's getting a spoonful, floating it to his mouth. And Mike is saying, good. Last transfer item was 914. Pushed Nicole over to the shuttle side, and they were saying our goodbyes. That was the last item. I called down to the ground to see what the weight was to make sure it was okay. Stupid astronaut chicks. We'll show you another version of this later. Now we're starting to come back home. As you see, the G starting to pick back up as you start to re-enter the atmosphere. Shuttle comes over Florida. You get the 2 sonic booms. Pretty loud down in Florida. This is our heads-up display. So playing video game guys, this is in gals. This is what it looks like coming into the runway at Kennedy Space Center. So it's pretty frenetic right now in the cockpit. We're all lined up, getting ready. Everyone's checking all the systems. And our commander, Scorch, Charlie Hobaugh, he landed it perfectly. The inset shows you how hot the tires get. They heat up in the underbelly of the orbiter. If you touch it, it will burn your hand quite significantly, because those tiles came through a plasma of about 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So it was very, very hot. The people that are walking around the shuttle after it lands, they have to make sure they stay fairly far away because it's just radiating so much heat. Drag chute comes off at about 60 knots, and we slow down. It takes us about an hour and a half to kind of get acclimated back to the planet. We walk out, I'm walking very carefully because our vestibular system was all spun up. In space you didn't use your inner ear and your vestibular system. You actually have to make sure that when you start walking that you don't turn your head very quickly or you'll just fall over. Because that data is not being reincorporated back into your brain yet. Your brain is trying to figure out where it is, what it's doing, all of those things. So, you walk kind of like, the monster. And when you turn, you don't turn your head, you just turn your body to make sure that you don't fall. But it took me about a day and a half to start walking normally again. And it was pretty amazing. You saw the food on the last slide. Again, food is very important for bringing people together. I mean, if some of you get a chance to invite some people that don't look like you, don't sound like you, over to dinner, it'll change the world. And that's what I try to do, and that's what we did in space. So beautiful from that vantage point. This is New Zealand. The clouds and the shore and the water is just breathtaking. And then this atoll in the South Pacific is heart-shaped. It was an island that was made from a volcano, underwater volcano, and then the inside starts to collapse on itself, so you get this little island of this atoll. But you see some of the most amazing views from that vantage point. In the Caribbean, the colors in the Caribbean, as an art teacher. I don't know where she went, or the theater teacher, but